My decade-long UBI experiment. A financial windfall let me live as if I were getting a small monthly government check. No boss, no job. Yet lack of purpose hasn't been a problem. Written and read by yours truly, Oakie McDoakie. Screw-ups and all. And today, possibly thunder. A quote by Tim Dillon. Do you think without jobs and we're all on universal basic income that everyone's going to walk around and plant community gardens? Is that what happened in 2020 when everyone got paid to stay in their house? Did that feel like a great society to live in? Or did people tribalize immediately and start trying to kill each other in the street? I'm trying to remember. Is that what happens when people just don't have anything to do? Again, that was by the comedian Tim Dillon. This artificial intelligence future we're being dragged into, it seems like half the news these days. One possible outcome is that a lot of people won't have jobs, and the government will make up for it with monthly checks, a universal basic income. That's what the tech oligarchs are waving under our noses. I'd say that's one of the better possible futures. Even so, some people worry that without jobs, most folks will fall into disillusion and despair. Without structure to their days and someone telling them what to do, and without the supposed pride of work, they'll spend all day smoking pot and playing DraftKings, or maybe even turn into Lord of the Flies characters, like Tim Dillon seems to think. I don't worry about that, not at all. My own experience over the last decade makes me think most people will be enjoying better lives. Around 2015, I got a big windfall. Not Richie Rich money, not even enough money to retire in my 40s with a middle class lifestyle, but a big windfall. Enough for sure to shut down my one man business and take a year or two to see the country. So that's what I did. On my bucket list was visiting all the national parks in the lower 48. I figured I had a rare chance to pull that off, with a good bit left over for retirement. I kept my little house down in South Texas and rented it out, planning to come back and restart my business or get a job. It took me about a year and a half to see them all, every National Park Service site with National Park in the name, except the Channel Islands, plus a few parks in Canada. A good run. That points to one possibility under a UBI system. Not quitting work forever, but stepping away from it for a while to do something you've always wanted to do. A sabbatical. One person might spend a few years earning a graduate degree. Another might train for and attempt to summit Everest. Someone else might write a novel, hike the Appalachian Trail, care for a dying parent, build a cabin, or travel the world. A reliable income floor makes those kinds of long-term projects less risky. Being between jobs for an extended period won't derail someone's entire financial future. Anyhow, I discovered along the way that I really liked van life, which had been another dream of mine. What's more, I discovered that with my little nest egg wisely invested, I might be able to keep doing van life indefinitely, if I lived cheaply enough. By which I mean right around the poverty line. But I didn't mind. It was only costing me about $1,000 a month to drive around and camp on public land, and I didn't feel the need for anything fancier. And that opens up a second possibility. Some people might decide they simply don't need to live as high on the hog. Instead of using financial security to chase bigger houses, newer cars, and other luxuries, they might use it to work less, consume less, and enjoy more control over their time. So anyway, I did van life for another 5.5 years or so, sold the house along the way, saw even more of the country, loved it, but eventually I got bored. That happens. I was just ready for a change. Plus, COVID scared me. I wanted a place where I could live safely and cheaply if the supply chains broke down again or worse happened. Maybe even grow my own food. Then I bought a few acres on the Taos West Mesa, my little place I call Hippie's End. Homesteading became the third long-held dream I was able to try because I had a modest financial foundation. I've been here 4 years. It's pretty much built the way I want it now, and just maintenance and aesthetic improvements from here on out. I did try gardening and raising livestock, but I hated it. My little paradise is self-sufficient in energy and water, but I've abandoned any plans of eating only what I grow. An off-grid home, but not quite a homestead. C'est la vie. You can imagine that buying land and improving it has cost me some, not to mention other expenses that have come up over the years. My nest egg is a little smaller these days. It's not going to be enough to live on exclusively over the long term unless I pull in a few $100s a month. To do that, I've taken on a couple gigs. The first is a Substack, which is more a labor of love than a business. It's not even covering my monthly gas, but that's okay. That said, I'm incredibly grateful to those of you with paid subscriptions or who have tipped me on Ko-Fi. Every bit helps. The other gigs involve helping an elderly lady with chores once a week and pet sitting for my neighbor's dog when work takes them out of town. I also run errands for a second neighbor who can't drive for a while, and she tips me gas money. That doesn't sound like someone who lives an utterly selfish, isolated, pointless, or self destructive life, does it? In fact, it points to a third possibility. A lot of socially useful jobs don't pay particularly well. Home health aides, child care workers, EMTs, animal shelter staff, youth mentors, people who help the elderly, disabled, or struggling remain connected to their communities. A UBI would allow more people to choose work that's socially valuable and meaningful to them, even when it pays poorly. Added together, I'm probably working about 20 hours a week, besides my own chores. It's all pretty low key and casual. No boss's bullshit, no office politics. I don't even need to dress nicely. I love the writing, and I love the people I'm working for. What I'm doing feels important, even if it's not grand. Of course, my current lifestyle is possible because I have that solid financial base, my own private UBI, so to speak. Plus, my cost of living is extremely low out here on the Mesa, by design. I'll admit, too, for the haters, that my situation isn't identical to a government UBI. An investment portfolio and a guaranteed monthly check are different things. It's an imperfect experiment. Still, both provide a solid floor to take chances. And let's not forget the fourth possibility. A lot of people would still work regular jobs when they can because they want the extra money or challenge. Work can be about more than keeping the wolf from the door. Also, with a basic income beneath them, folks will have more freedom to reject miserable jobs, reduce their hours, and choose work that better fits their interests, talents, and values. And if the big companies aren't hiring, some people might invent new products and services that don't even exist. It might well unleash entrepreneurial talent. Like I said at the start, I can't guarantee that some people won't fall into dissolution and despair if AI and UBI mean they no longer need a job or can't find one anyway. But I think I'm on pretty strong ground to feel hopeful. If my decade long experiment is any guide, freedom from economic desperation doesn't necessarily produce idleness and gang warfare. A free person is capable of living well and purposefully, even when they don't have to earn their living. They might even become a writer. If you like this, you can tip me on ko-fi.com/Oakie McDoakie or follow me on Substack and the socials. Just go to oakiemcdoakie.com. Until next time, don't let the bastards wear you down.